everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf. Today I am going to be showing off all the books that I picked up in October. So I'm not sure what happened in October, but I ended up with a bunch of books. I think I have over 20 to show off to you guys today. Also, I did already film this video, but when I went to go start editing it, I noticed that I tend to hold up the books on my right side or on this side because I am right-handed. So because of the way I had the camera angled, and also because I think I was zoomed in too much, most of the books were cut off while I was talking about them. So I figured since it was a book haul, I wasn't doing a whole lot, I would just go ahead and refilm this video. Now in that video I did go into descriptions of I think the majority of the books. Now I will try to go through some, especially the ones that I have already read, but I'm not going to try to summarize most of the books because I have not read them yet, and I don't want to take too long because I actually just filmed an update to my Heir of Fire reading vlog, and that took way longer than I thought it would. So I think it's like almost 10 o'clock. Oh no, it's already out. It's 10:07 right now. So I want to not take forever so I can take a shower, get ready for bed, and read some before going to sleep. So yeah, I'm not sure how much of this you guys can see, but I have a lot of books here. I think this should be the last month that I get so many books, at least purchasing them myself. I did not buy all of these books. I did have a few sent to me, and I did win a giveaway. I guess that is somewhat okay. And I think at least 3 of the books I got in book boxes. I'm rambling. Let's just get into it. I think I'm going to start with the books that I did not pay for myself. So I had 2 books that were sent to me by authors, and they are both indie published books. So the first one that I have to show off to you guys is The Crowns of Croswald by D.E. Knight. I believe this is considered a middle grade novel, even though the main character is 16 years old, but I have heard a lot of people, including the author, label this as middle grade. So I'm interested to see how that is all going to play out. And the other book that I received from an author was Failsafe by Anila Dean. If you guys have been following my channel, I recently posted an unboxing which this book was featured in. The author sent me this box that has this book and also items that was surrounding this book, and all the profits from that box is going to be donated to the Epilepsy Foundation. So I will leave that unboxing linked up in the iCard, so you guys should definitely go check that out if you're interested. It had a lot of really good items in there that was surrounded around the book. Also had a custom book sleeve, and this is a YA sci-fi novel, and it features a main character that is diagnosed with epilepsy. And the last book or couple books that I have, I actually won a giveaway, so I'm sure everyone is signed up to at least one newsletter from a publisher, and normally they send them out about once a month and they have a giveaway in them. And typically I don't win these giveaways. Every now and then I will win one on Goodreads or something, but I've never actually won one of these newsletter giveaways. I didn't know if anyone actually ever won them because you never hear anything, but one of the last ones that they had, I actually won, and I was really surprised. And I won a copy of Empress of All Seasons by Emiko Jean. This is a YA fantasy novel that has Japanese influences, I believe. I recently heard someone talking about this since I am refilming this, and they said they really enjoyed it, but I also seen a few people talk about it on Instagram and they gave it like average reviews. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I think about this. When this came, I actually forgot that I had one to give away, and then the box came in the mail. I was just like, oh yeah, that giveaway, but it came in a really big box. So I was just like, I don't know what else could be in there. I thought it was just like a book, you know, just a copy of the book. I was like, maybe they included extra goodies or something, but no. Also included with that was an extra copy of the book. So now I have 2 copies of Empress of All Seasons. I don't know why I ended up with 2 copies, or if I was meant to end up with 2 copies. There was nothing like in that giveaway that said you were winning 2 copies, so I was really surprised. So I will either be doing a giveaway for this book or passing it along to a friend who I think might be interested in it. I'm not exactly sure what I would like to do yet, but yeah, I won 2 copies of the same book, so that was nice to have another book that I was looking forward to reading and not having to pay for. The rest of the books I bought, and I bought them through various channels. So I have some from Amazon, some from Book Boxes, some I bought from, I think I got a couple from Book Outlet, and I think 1 or 2 I bought used, like from the marketplace of Amazon. And I actually bought another book now that I'm thinking about it, and it still hasn't come. So it's one that I'm still waiting on. It said it shipped, but there was no shipping, like no tracking on it. So hopefully it still comes. I have no idea when that will be coming. Anyway, let's just jump right in. I'm pretty much just gonna pick up the books as I go. They aren't in any specific order, or they kind of are in a order just because of how I had them on my shelves, but I'm just kind of picking them up how I placed them next to me. So the first set of books I have to show off are the 5 books in the other series by Anne Bishop. So I have, whoops, if they stop falling all over the place. So I have Written in Red, Murder of Crows, Vision in Silver, Marked in Flesh, and Etched in Bone. And these are books 1 through 5, and this is the entire series. I believe there's also a spin-off series, but I have not read all of these yet, so I have not picked those up. I have already read Written in Red and Murder of Crows, because Written in Red was one of the book picks for the Wicked Spirits book club for October, I believe. So I had picked this up from, actually I picked this up from Barnes & Noble, and then I was really interested in continuing on with the series after I finished Written in Red, so I immediately picked up Murder of Crows. I have not gotten to the rest of the series yet, but that might be a priority for the rest of the year because I'm really looking forward to getting back into the series. But the first book, Written in Red, follows this character named Meg Corbin. She is actually a blood prophet, and at the beginning of the story we are following her, and she has actually broken out from this home that she has been held in. So in this world, blood prophets are, or all known blood prophets have basically been rounded up, and they're taken into these homes, and people are told that it is for their benefit, because in order to be able to give prophecies, they have to cut, and you know, any act of cutting and speaking what they see, they release the prophecy, and they have this like euphoria that comes with that. So these people that run these houses say that these girls get addicted to this cutting because of the euphoria that comes with it. So in order to keep them safe, they're going to keep them all in these different houses. But after Meg is punished for giving someone a wrong prophecy, she ends up escaping, and she finds herself in the lakeside courtyard. So in this world, the supernatural creatures pretty much were in the world first, or at least in a certain area, in the majority of the world first, and the humans had like this one little section that they were in, and that they were like created in, but then they expanded. So in the current time, the supernaturals pretty much run the entire world, and they put limits on what humans are allowed to do, what resources they're allowed to have, and all of these things. So when Meg runs away, she ends up finding this lakeside courtyard, which is really different from any of the other courtyards, because the supernaturals actually, or a few of them, have businesses that allow humans to come and visit and all of these things. And she ends up going and being allowed to stay and becomes the human liaison, and a lot of shenanigans happens from there. There's a lot going on that I can't really get into, but I did really enjoy this, and you guys should check out my October wrap up, because that should be up by the time this video goes up. And I think I talk a little bit more about that in that video. But like I said, I have already read this, and then these are the other 3 books in the series. The next book that I have to show off is Food Wars Volume 26 by Yuto Sakuda. This is another one I picked up from Barnes & Noble. If you guys have seen, I believe, my Crown of Midnight reading vlog, I mentioned, I think, towards the very beginning of that vlog, that I randomly had to go with my brothers to their dentist appointment, which was at the mall, and mall had a Barnes & Noble attached. So before I left, I went to check out the selection, and I was there on a Monday, and this was coming out the Tuesday, but they already had it out. So I picked it up. I have already read this, and this is another one where you can check my October wrap up to hear my thoughts about it. The next few books that I am going to talk about are actually all romance novels. So I figured, because they're all stacked here together, might as well get through those. So the first one that I have is Jacques by Sarah Nye, I think is how you say her last name. This is the first book in the Jock Hard series, and I have actually already read this one, but I really enjoyed it. If you guys have not already heard, I've kind of been gushing about this book here and there throughout the year, but this was so much fun. It was really cute, and I really enjoyed this one, so I decided to pick up a physical copy just so I can own it, because I just really enjoyed this book that much. So yeah, this book follows this character named Scarlett, and she is pretty much like the, I don't want to say the basic friend, but she is known as the sober friend or the sensible friend. And she goes with her friends to these parties that take place on Jock Row. Her friends are basically groupies, if you want to simplify the term. They like going to, I think this one centers around like baseball players. So her friends like going to the apartments or houses that the baseball players stay in when they're throwing parties and all of these things. And she's usually there, and when they're drunk, she's like, you know, I don't really think that's a good idea when they're talking about doing crazy stuff. And one day she makes some of the players unhappy, so they go get their captain, and the captain pretty much kicks her out the house. But she's like, I'm not leaving until my friends come. So he ends up staying outside with her the rest of the night, and it ends up becoming a tradition. So she ends up coming back, and he's like, you know, you can't go in, and he ends up staying out with her for the entire night. So yeah, their relationship kind of kicks off, or I don't even want to say relationship, but their friendship kind of kicks off there, and a lot of stuff happens. But I thought this was really cute, and I cannot wait to reread this one. This is really good, like, new adult romance, if you guys are looking for any recommendations for new adult. The next romance that I picked up was Wicked Sexy Liar by Christina Lauren, and this is the 4th book in the series, and the first book is Sweet Filthy Boy. I'm not exactly sure what the series is called, but I decided to get this one. I have the first one, but I decided to pick this one up because just from Enchanted Fandoms, she was doing an unhaul on her Instagram, and she's like, all you have to do is pay for the shipping. And I saw this was on there, and I knew I had the first one, and I knew I was interested in reading the series, so I decided to just pick this up. So technically I only paid $4 for this, you know, for the shipping. The next one that I have here is a pre-order, and that is The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I am actually a little worried about this book, because if you guys don't know, this is the same author who wrote The Wedding Date, which I believe came out, was that earlier this year? It was either earlier this year or last year. Don't really remember when that one came out. I was really looking forward to this, but some of my friends they read arcs of this one, and they just did not like it. They just said that it seemed like a completely different person wrote this, and it was just like, compared to The Wedding Date, it wasn't good at all. So I'm worried that I'm not gonna like this, but I had already pre-ordered this, and I still wanted to read it to see how I felt about it, because maybe I will like it. I don't know. Like, from what they were saying about it, I'm really worried, but I have it, and I plan on reading it, so we will see what I think. And the last 2 romances I basically picked up because I felt bad, because I had e-arcs for both of these. One of them I was going to read, but I didn't. Actually, both of these I was going to read, but one of them from the Penguins First Read program. It expired before I had a chance to get to it. And then the other one, I still have the e-arc, but I felt really bad for not reading it and reviewing it on time. So I figured I would just go ahead and support both of these authors since I had the opportunity to read an arc. And I just felt really bad, so I picked them both up. But the first one is One Day in December by Josie Silver. And the last strictly romance novel that I have that I picked up because I felt guilty that I didn't read the e-arc is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Now let's move on to books that I received in different book boxes. So the first one that I have to show off is the two books that came in my OwlCrate unboxing, which I will make sure to link up in the iCard so you guys can check that out. But the first book that I received was Pride by Ibi Zoboi. This is actually my second copy. This is the OwlCrate exclusive copy. And then the second book that came in the October OwlCrate was Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is another YA fantasy with Japanese influences. So this is another one I am looking forward to. I have heard good things about this one, and I know that I really enjoy Julie Kagawa's writing. Then the book that came in my October Fairy Loot box, which I actually got in November, but I had, by the time that I was filming my book haul for October, I had it, so I figured I would just include it. But that one is Girls, Paper, and Fire by Natasha Ning. I've heard people say it, but I still can't wrap my mind around how to get my mouth to say it the way I heard people say. But anyway, this is another YA fantasy story with Asian influences. This is a Fairy Loot exclusive cover. It also has pink spray pages, and I believe, yes, this one is also signed by the author. And I believe these other two books that I received from OwlCrate, yeah, Pride, here's the signature in Pride, and here is the signature in Shadow of the Fox. So all of the books that I received in the different book boxes are all signed by the author, which is always really nice. I'm getting down to the end of my pile, close to it at least. So the next book that I picked up is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. The next book I have is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, which is the 7th and final book in the Throne of Glass series. As you can see, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so this is the one with Charlie Bowaters art and the dust jacket. So I purchased this one before I realized that this was the artwork that had the issues with the with Manon being portrayed as a different orientation than she was previously, and by the time I realized that, I couldn't even cancel it or anything. So I have this one. I do enjoy the rest of the artwork. I'm just not going to display that artwork that has Manon on it because of those reasons or anything like that. But looking forward to eventually making my way to this beast of a book. Almost 1,000 pages. Most people have already read this or are currently reading it or something, but I'm only on Air of Fire, so I will get to it at some point. All the rest of these books that I have picked up are actually all from the same author. So 2 of these were are the same book, and they were released in October. So I picked them up because one is a special edition, the other one is a normal US edition, and I got it in a box that was themed after the book. But the other 2 I picked up because let me just show you the books and then I will tell you why I picked them up. So first I have Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and I also have Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. So these are, you know, books 1 and 3 in her Daughter of Smoke and Bone series. I picked both of these up from Book Outlet because they were available when I went and checked. They do have the second book on Amazon, but they didn't have it on Book Outlet when I was going to make this purchase, which is why I haven't picked it up, and I'm not going to get it until I'm like reading, you know, Daughter of Smoke and Bone and I'm ready to start it. But I picked both of these up because I heard a lot of people saying that there was a lot of references to this series in Muse of Nightmares, and I was just like, I want to read this first so I can get those references when they come up. Also, I was recently, I'm like backlogged on watching videos on YouTube as well, but I was watching Tabby from Keeping Tabs' channel, and she was reading Stranger Dreamer, and she had already read the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and she said that there were a lot of references in the first book as well. So I just really want to read this series first and then go back, read Stranger Dreamer again, and then read Muse of Nightmares so I can like get the full experience of that. So that's why I picked both of these up. Like I said, they were available on Book Outlet, so I just need to get book 2. And the last 2 books that I picked up are Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. This is the second book, and the Strange the Dreamer duology. At least I believe it's a duology. There's no mention of there being more as of right now, but as far as I understand, this series kind of built on the world or something that was brought up in Daughter of Smoke and Bone. So we will see how that works out. But as you guys can see, I have 2 different copies. So this is the normal US hardcover edition. I ordered the LitJoy crate Muse and Dreams, or it was a box that was named after this book, which I will link that unboxing so you guys can check that out if you're interested in that. But I received this copy in that box along with a bunch of other goodies, with a letter from the author with some artwork on the back. And this one is also signed by Laini Taylor, or is printed. I'm not really sure. I think this one might be signed because it's like one of those, I think they call them tip-in sheets. So I have this one, and I am debating right now about picking up the US hardcover edition to match this one, so I can have basically, you know, matching editions, because the copy of Strange the Dreamer I have is the first edition UK hardcover, which I received in a Fairy Loot box, and that one has blue spray pages. So obviously I had to pick up the UK first edition printing of Muse of Nightmares to match that copy of the book. I have a story about trying to get this book. So I had pre-ordered it from Book Depository because I figured that would be the easiest solution. I have ordered from Book Depository a couple times, never had an issue with them. I always got my package. But for some reason, I was just like, I really, really hope they don't lose my order or it doesn't get lost in the mail. I was just like, I really hope this isn't the one time that this happens. So I got the shipping notification from them once it released that, you know, my order was on its way. And a week passed, still hadn't gotten it. I'm like, okay, it's coming from the UK. It might take a little longer. I'm going to give it a while. And I kind of forgot about it. Then second week passed, and I still hadn't gotten it. And I was just like I remembered because people were getting their copies in the mail, and I was watching them unbox it on Instagram. So I was just like, you know, usually when these people get it, I usually, because that's what happens when Fairy Loot comes, since it comes from the UK. I'm like, usually I'll see them have it with a day or two. I will receive mine or receive some type of notification or something that my package is on the way. So it still didn't come. So I decided to contact Book Depository's customer service, and I got bounced around to like 3 or 4 different people trying to figure out what's going on. And then finally somebody was just like, we have no idea where your package is. Would you like a refund, or do you want us to send out another copy? But at this point, I didn't know if they still had, you know, the first edition, because the first printing has the sprayed edges, and they had pretty strictly said that only pre-orders were guaranteed to have the sprayed edges. So I was just like, you know, I don't want to risk it, because I don't want to, you know, if they send it out, I don't want to just have a normal copy when I pre-ordered it for the special edition. So I decided to just ask for a refund, but at this point I had decided to just order it from Amazon UK. They also said that pre-orders were the only like guaranteed. Actually, it said pre-orders were the only ones that would have the spray pages. But I was just like, you know what? I've seen people get it. Let me just go ahead and risk it. So I ordered it from Amazon UK, and it came pretty quickly from them. And I still have not gotten the one from Book Depository, because I figured if it shows up, you know, then I'll just have an extra copy. Maybe I'll gift it to someone or sell it or something. But yeah, that still hasn't shown up. Who knows what happened to it. But luckily, I was still able to get my special edition. So now I have my matching covers for Muse of Nightmares and Strange the Dreamer, which is really nice, but too much just to get one book. So those were all the books that I picked up or received in October. Like I said, it was a lot. I thought I was doing really good, and then about halfway through the month when all this stuff started showing up, I was just like, okay, it's getting to be a lot. And then more started showing up. I was just like, oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. But I'm proud to say that in November so far, we're like 2 weeks into November now, and I have not purchased, like, I haven't purchased any books outside of book boxes. Like, I did receive a box that I had pre-ordered, so I have a new book, but I think all the books that I received in November will have come from previous purchases. So I'm really proud of myself about that. If you have read any of these books, let me know what you think I should make a priority to read, or if you would like to see my thoughts about any of these, let me know so I can, you know, try to play my reading around so I can talk about some of these. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye.